Hi, so I've just created these really simple exercises just to perhaps help those of you who may have a little bit of stiffness in the lower back and hips. Right, so these are just my ideas, the things I do, so if you want to give them a try and see if they work for you, great. I've intentionally not warmed up beforehand so that you're seeing me at my worst, I guess, yeah, if you like to keep that context. Alright, so I'll sit down to begin with. Just put my feet flat on the floor this way. Support myself first with my hands and just flop my legs over this way. And then the other way. You know, so I'm getting a 90-degree bend here, 90-degree bend here. And it's really simple, I'm just rolling up and rolling over the other way. Yeah. And then eventually, if you can do it without supporting yourself behind, then you'll know that you're getting more flexibility in your hips. But to be honest with you, you probably need to start like this with your hands behind. Otherwise, you'll just get pushed back. But that's what you're after, eventually, to be able to do it without putting your hands on the floor until you get this way, okay? Good, right, next exercise that I use, put one leg straight, put the other ankle on the bottom of your thigh, just above your knee, and bring your leg up this way. Right, so bring it up as far as you can. Right, and lean into it, lean forward. Feel the stretch on your lower back. Depending on how flexible or inflexible you are, get hold of this lower part of the leg. All right, just pull it towards you. If you can, try to get this foot in this elbow. All right, so I may be able to do it. No, not quite this morning. There we go. All right, and then if you can rock this way, that's good. And keep pulling this in towards you. All right, as I said, lower back and hip stretch. Good. All right, obviously, do the other side. I'll start the same way. I'll put this on top of here. Bend the leg, pull it up. And just get hold of it first. Remember, this is all gradual. You need to do this a little step at a time. You'd be surprised how quickly it makes a difference though. Alright, then I'll go for putting the foot in the elbow and then rock. And my left leg is more flexible than my right on these exercises anyway. And you'll probably find the same. Good. Okay. Then flat on your back this way. Arms out like a crucifix. Bend your leg. So you get your knee up in front of you. All right, and then keeping your hands on the floor, you might feel more comfortable palms down. Just allow your leg to roll over this way. All right, and do your very best to keep your shoulders on the floor. You know, I'm sure that the shoulder, so I'm doing this with my right leg, my right shoulder wants to lift. All right, but I'm just using the weight of my leg to get a gentle twist on the torso. All right, so this is increasing my shoulder to hip flexibility. I'll make sure it's nice and gentle. Don't wreck yourself. I would do that for longer than I'm demonstrating here. But obviously the video would be even more boring if it was longer. So I'd flop over and maybe just allow this stretch to happen over a couple of minutes. You know, there's no rush. And muscles take a long time to stretch, especially as you get older. But they will stretch if you're just patient. Alright, and then if you feel comfortable with that, then straighten your leg, do the same thing. Obviously you have a longer lever here, so this pulls more. And I wouldn't bother with the straight leg part of this unless you're getting a really good stretch of the bent leg. And again, I won't bore you with ages of that, but just so you get the idea, stretch over this way. I know I can feel my shoulders lifting. I'm doing my best to not allow it to lift too much. So I'm getting a good I'm trying to keep my chest up towards the ceiling. I'm getting a good stretch down here. Okay, next we go to a type of kneeling position. Alright, so I get my front leg, at 90 degrees to the way I'm facing. So my shin is this way, and I'm facing that way. Alright, and then you can start with this up like this, yeah. But then gradually lower your back, push your back leg away, and you'll feel again this stretch on the hip of this leg. And you can just leave it like this, or you can lean in further. Try and get more, you can over this way more. Yeah, be aware though, if this leg bends in more, I get much less of a stretch. Right, the best stretch I get is at 90 degrees. So if I keep that angle there, 90 degrees, that's my best stretch. Yeah. Good. I'm going to go the other way obviously. Just a quickie. So here, 90 degrees on this knee joint. Try and come over my leg and stretch down this way. It's good, it's enough for demonstration purposes. Oh, and then one more torso stretch. I put this leg outside, this foot outside the other leg. Now, if you're facing me, I'll try and reverse this for you. So this is actually my right leg, but if you're facing me, this will be your left leg. Yeah. So then you take your right hand, put it on the outside of your left leg, and try and push it across this way. Alright, so you're pushing this over here, but then try and turn your torso away, so you get a really good torso stretch. Lovely, I'll quickly do the other side. Okay, super. And then, last of all, just put this foot on the thigh, similar to how we did earlier, but just ease this down and try not to let this buttock lift up. I mean, I can push this down if this lifts up, right, but try and keep this on the floor and ease this down. And you get a nice front of the hip stretch on this. Good for back kicks and side kicks and heel kicks. Right, so I'm just gently pushing down here. Alright, so these are all static exercises where you're sitting. I like to refer to these as TV stretches, really. If I'm sitting watching TV or anything in the evening, I often just sit on the floor and do these things one after the other and go around maybe 2 or 3 times because they are really useful stretches. Something I think is also really useful is dynamic stretching. Alright, so I'm sure you did these in class anyway. But things like opening the gate, just taking that hip joint through its full range of movement and slowly to start with. Yeah, it's good. And making sure you get a full range of movement all the way out and all the way up. And then closing the gate. Yeah, because this exercise will work your adductor, help it to strengthen. Yeah, so when you're taking it out, you're going outwards, then your adductor's being stretched. And when you're pulling in, it's being contracted, so it's making it stronger.